We just got some insane news about the main villain for Spider-Man 4 in the MCU, and I'm letting you know right now, this is really gonna shock you. But that's not all, because we also got some hints at where the story could be going, and Sony already has a map planned out for Spider-Man 5 and 6. And I also got an insane theory that kind of ties this all together. You thought that was all I really said? Here go two more for you. And me and you, we gotta talk about it. Now, a lot of you probably already know this, but in case you didn't, the most recent news we got for Spider-Man 4 is that Sadie Sink has joined the cast. Who she's playing? More on that in a second. But the only other confirmed cast member outside of Tom Holland and Sadie Sink is Zendaya herself, reprising her role as MJ, and hopefully she looks like this. But thanks to somewhat reliable industry insider My Time to Shine Hello, so take this with a grain of salt, but apparently Spider-Man 4 will have a female main villain, confirming that it's not Sadie Sink, and they already have someone cast in this role with an announcement imminent. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear female main villain, my thoughts immediately go to Black Cat, but then I keep harping on the word main villain. I don't think she's main villain material. She's more of like a side villain. Really, she's more like an anti-hero. But more on Black Cat in a second, because then we had another somewhat reliable industry insider, Jeff Snyder, chiming in and saying, I wonder if it's going to be another red-haired actress with the initials SS. So again, take this all with a grain of salt, because if I had to describe their shooting percentages, I'd say My Time to Shine Hello is like a 40% shooter. Jeff Snyder's like a 25% shooter. But they've been right before. So when I hear red-haired actress with the initials SS, does that mean Susan Sarandon? Haha, that's elite spoiled milk right there. I mean, this would be funny because she already played the main villain in a bug-themed superheroes movie. And the other actress that comes to mind is Sarah Snook. But I don't think she would want to join the MCU. Shout out to all my Succession fans, though. I mean, shit, we got Tom Wamsgam in here. Why not have Sarah Snook, too? But even if it was Susan Sarandon, I'm like, who the hell would she even play? Maybe a gender swap version of Sylvia Manfredi? Didn't we already get Silvio in the Daredevil Netflix series? I mean, they could always retcon this. I'm gonna go ahead and cross Susan Sarandon off the list. I don't think she's gonna be in this movie. Like Sarah Snook, who could she play? Silver Sable's actually a really intriguing one. She could have main villain potential. I mean, maybe Carolyn Traynor, Lady Octopus, trying to throw the audience off and have her be like the master planner, take the usual role of Doc Ock. That's main villain potential. Or maybe it's Screwball. I'm laughing now, we're laughing now, but watch it really be Screwball. Tom Holland did say this movie's like nothing he's ever seen before in a Spider-Man movie, but I'm just gonna take this as Jeff Snyder being colorblind. I'm choosing and praying and hoping and believing that it's gonna be Black Cat, because this is a dynamic that we have not seen in a Spider-Man movie before. I mean, shit, we've gotten the Bat and the Cat, but we haven't gotten the Spider and the Cat. And they left Peter Parker in the perfect position to pick up the pieces. I didn't mean to do that. He's lonely, looking for anyone. So of course he's gonna be lustful. And I mean, really, Black Cat should change her name to the Seductress. She'd be seducing Spider-Man to come do some crime. And of course, I think that means the SS stands for Sydney Sweeney. I mean, she did have red hair in Madam Web, but there's been rumors circulating that Sydney Sweeney could be joining Spider-Man 4 for years now. And I mean, really, she's been one of the most popular fan casts for, let's say, two very obvious reasons. You know, me personally, I would have gone with Mikey Madison. Obviously, she was incredible in Anora, but I think her role as Amber in Scream 5 really just screams Black Cat. How about the initials MM? Eminem? Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Which brings me back to who I think Sadie Sink is playing, and my theory for how it could connect Black Cat and her in Spider-Man. Yes, I've seen all the fan casts, the speculation, Jean Grey, Firestar. I think my personal favorite one is a multiversal Mayday Parker, who, if you don't know, is the daughter of MJ and Peter in the comics, who goes on to become Spider-Girl and Spider-Woman. And I do really like the idea that she could be Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst's daughter from that universe, because we know this movie's still gonna have multiversal elements some way, somehow. I mean, what I really need is another Raimi Spider-Man 4. I need that more than air. And it really is crazy when you look at Kirsten Dunst, Tobey Maguire, and Sadie Sink side by side, because she looks like she could be their daughter for real. Like, damn, call Sam Raimi, Bill Pope, and make Spider-Man 4. Make it a Logan-style movie, watch the box office explode. And this is fun and all, but what people don't realize is that Sadie Sink is supposed to be Peter Parker's love interest. He's not going to date his multiversal daughter. And I don't think she's going to be Gwen, because there's no way you're going to be able to live up to this. And they already executed the death of Gwen Stacy perfectly. Plus, Peter 3 already told Tom Holland's Spider-Man about his Gwen, so he's aware of the name and probably wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. Instead, I'm hoping and praying that she's either Carly Cooper or a young Jean DeWolf, or an amalgamation of the both. I think having her be a combination of Jean DeWolf and Carly Cooper, god damn, Peter, dog. You have a type. But I think having her be an amalgamation of Jean DeWolf and Carly Cooper would work so perfectly for the thematics if Black Cat is the main villain. This would also kind of be like closure for Jean DeWolf, who always had a crush on Spider-Man but never dated him. But Carly Cooper was obviously a girlfriend of Peter. But here's where I really start to cook, because I really want Spider-Man 4 in the MCU to be like the Batman, in the sense that Peter is like always Spider-Man. That's his real identity now that he doesn't have Peter Parker. So for most of the movie, he's always wearing the suit, always got the mask on, and he starts working close with the police, just like PS4 Spider-Man, where he meets a young officer trying to make detective, and she could even be going to the same college. And when he sees her as Peter, he's like, holy shit, that's Jean DeWolf / Carly Cooper amalgamation. I have a crush on her, she has a crush on me. But then things get tricky once Black Cat is introduced, and she starts feeding into his temptation, his lust, and leading him down a path of crime. That right there already gives you an interesting moral dilemma for Peter, especially since he's going to be struggling internally and the city probably hates Spider-Man for whatever reason. And if he has the black suit, he's definitely going to be leaning more towards the crime. He's going to have Carly Cooper / Jean DeWolf trying to steer him in the right direction. And Jean DeWolf and Black Cat in the comics even have a very interesting dynamic. And eventually down the line, you can adapt a version of the Jean DeWolf story storyline. You know, obviously it'll be different, but this could be your death of Gwen Stacy that really hits Peter Parker since he always needs to suffer. Side note, but you know I got that thing on me. And maybe we get Sin Eater. Maybe they replace him with another villain like Scorpion or something. I don't know. Since he's working with the police, I hope he meets a captain by the name of George Stacy too. You don't have to adapt this in that first movie. You can lead towards this. And then you have a reason for him to start talking to Gwen Stacy, even though he knows it's probably not a good idea to be with her. He could pull Andrew Garfield and say, broken promises? Ha, those are the best kind. And as for Zendaya's MJ, I really hope she's more of a cameo and her scenes just play out like when Andrew's Peter would look over Gwen Stacy in those movies. Just checking up on her, seeing how she's doing. But they should not get back together in this movie. And don't even let me really start cooking when I start talking about how Kingpin's the mayor of New York, outlawing vigilantes. Oh, I'm about to cook up a mean theory. Ties in beautifully and perfectly with what's going on in Daredevil Born Again right now. You got Wilson Fisk, who became the mayor to outlaw vigilantes. Clearly taking inspiration from the Devil's Reign storyline, it has to come into effect in Spider-Man 4 in the MCU because Spider-Man is a vigilante. But it won't just affect Spider-Man 4. I think it's going to play a huge role in the next season of Daredevil and the Thunderbolts. Let me explain. In the Devil's Reign storyline, much like Born Again, Wilson Fisk outlaws vigilantism. But how does he enforce that? By setting up Thunderbolts units across the city. Now, I don't think it's going to be this version of the Thunderbolts because honestly, this isn't even the Thunderbolts, but this is probably where the initial idea comes from. People who have been incarcerated and are easily to be manipulated and controlled to do the government's bidding. And I mean, in the comics, the Thunderbolts have had a bunch of different teams with a bunch of different heroes and villains on it. A couple of the mainstays being Zemo, Hawkeye, Winter Soldier, obviously Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, but in the MCU, it doesn't look like that's going to be the thing. But much like my story theory for the MCU Spider-Man 4, this means Wilson Fisk is going to be looking for incarcerated villains to take down vigilantes. So that's how we can see the reappearance of Donald Glover as not just Aaron Davis, but the Prowler. That's probably where they get all their technology and suits and weapons. So I think this all opens up the door for all of those villains from Homecoming to return, just like Michael Mando's Scorpion. And please let that happen so I can stop seeing this fucking tweet every day. Which, funny enough, Michael Mando himself actually retweeted, so, you know, he feeling it. And bring him back in a damn Scorpion suit. Give me the storyline where he gets trapped on his body. Throw JJJ in there. I'm sure JJJ will be happy to fund this experiment since he hates Spider-Man. It's all there. Just connect the dots, MCU. You know, preferably his suit would look something like this. Hey, yo, my head placement is kind of crazy. But I'd be happy to meet in the middle and just settle for what they gave us in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Because if he's anything like this Scorpion, he's going to be a demon. On top of all that news, we also learned that Marvel already has a plan mapped out for Spider-Man 5 and 6 in the MCU. So he's going to get a second trilogy for sure. And I mean, if it was up to me, my ideal progression for this next Spider-Man trilogy in the MCU would be Spider-Man 4, Gang Wars, Kingpin's the mayor of New York City, Scorpion's the main villain, the side villains, you know, you could have like Tombstone, Shocker, Prowler, Hammerhead. Shit, you can even have Black Cat in there. Spider-Man 5 would have been Kraven's Last Hunt for me, but I don't know. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson's movie kind of fucking ruined that. And then he would get the symbiote suit in that movie after Secret Wars. And then this would all perfectly end with a Spider-Man 6 and the Sinister Six with Peter's death and an introduction of Miles Morales. But we already know the MCU isn't going to cook like this. But I don't know, they could. What do you think? Do you even like this idea? What would your ideal progression for Spider-Man 5 and 6 be? Especially since we know that it's going to take place after Doomsday and Secret Wars. But yeah, man, Spider-Man 4 in the MCU has to be one of my most anticipated movies of all time, just because it's the first Spider-Man 4 ever. Unless Sony listens to me and makes that Sam Raimi 4th Spider-Man movie. I'm just saying, it would make a Billy. And it's so intriguing. They can go so many different directions with the multiverse. I hope they say it's somewhat grounded at least. Like, who are going to be the MCU players in this movie? We know that they always introduce some MCU hero in this movie. I think it's contractually obligated, so I don't see how Daredevil doesn't show up, or like Kingpin or someone. Actually, I think they share the rights with Kingpin. But yeah, that's all the news we have so far. I can't wait for this news to officially drop. I'm pretty sure it'll probably drop sometime this week. So again, the main villain in Spider-Man 4 isn't going to be Sydney Sweeney, but it is going to be a female villain. And if I had to bet my house on it, I would say it's Black Cat or Silver Sable. Maybe Screwball. But please, Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, don't mess this up. Let me know what you think about this news down in the comments below. I love you. I appreciate you for watching. You matter. I hope you're smiling and having a great day. And don't forget to like and follow for more.